Hi everybody, and welcome back to the Mathematics Corner. Now today's topic is going to be Pythagoras Theorem. We're going to go through this formula over here, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. We're going to see what that's going to look like in a visual sense. Then we're going to go through an example based on that. And then finally, we're going to go through these 4 key questions. Now, what would this look like in a triangle? Well, first, we're going to label it. We're going to call our longest length over here, we're going to call that C. And our 2 shorter sides, we can choose A and B. I'm going to choose this to be A, and I'm going to choose this to be B. See what that would look like in a visual sense, linking it to this formula, we're going to form some squares. And I'm going to do that by doing this. By creating some other lengths. I'm going to call this length B, and I'm going to form a square. I'm going to do the same thing with this one, with A. I'm going to call this length A, and C, the exact same thing. Now you might be wondering to yourself how these squares will link to each other. Well, you'll see, if I get the areas of each of them, so in this case, A multiplied by A squared, B multiplied by B squared, C multiplied by C squared. If I add up the 2 smaller areas, I'm going to get it equal to our larger area, C squared. Now, we're going to see what that's going to look like with some numbers. Let's suppose that I choose A to be 2, I choose B to be 3, and I choose C to try and find out. All I need to do is put that into the formula and see what that looks like. We're going to have 2 as our A, so 2 squared. We're going to add it to B squared. In this case, we said B is 3. And we know is going to be equal to C squared. In this case, it's saying that the area that we have here, which is 2 squared, add it to this area, we should get it equal to our larger area for C squared. Now we're going to simplify this and see what our C is going to be. We're going to have 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, and C squared is still there. We're going to simplify this. 4 plus the 9, which is 13, is equal to C squared. We're going to rearrange this to get C by itself. And to do that, we're going to think to ourselves, what's the opposite of a squared? In this case, square root. Take that to the other side. So we get remaining square root 13 equals C. So our length in this case would be square root 13. Now, if we can't simplify the third any further, we leave it like that. Let's go through some questions. Now, here it says find the length of AC. Notice that these letters are in capitals, and we do that for notation wise to our distances in points. Our smaller letters, or lowercase letters, are ones that represent our length. So, first step here, we're going to label this triangle, all in lower cases A, B, and C. We have our longest length here, which is lowercase c. A and B, again, I get to choose. So I'll call this A, I'll call this B. I'm going to substitute this into this equation. We have A, which is 3, so 3 squared. Add it to B squared, so in this case 4 squared, and it's equal to C squared. 3 squared, simplified, 9. 4 squared, 16. And it's equal to C squared. Simplify again, one more time, this underneath. We have 9 plus 16, which is 25. That's equal to c squared. Opposite of the squared to get c by itself, square root. So we have square root 25 and it's equal to c. We can, in this case, simplify our third. So square root of 25 is 5. So 5 is equal to c. So our length for the capital A to C, here to here, is 5. Question 2, a little bit different. This time we're not working out our longest length, but in this we're working out the shorter length, capital B to capital C. We're going to label this triangle again, same as before. We have our longest length here, which is C, and our two shorter sides I can call A and B. Again, does not matter which one you choose. I could have chosen this as B and I could have chosen this as A. Let's substitute this into the equation. We have 2, which is our A, so 2 squared, plus B, which I don't know, so I'm going to leave it like that, B squared, is equal to, finishing off this equation, 6 squared. Simplify this underneath. We have 2 squared, which is 4, plus B squared, and it's equal to 36. Rearrange this by trying to get B squared by itself. To do that, we need to find what's the opposite of a plus 4, which is minus 4. So we minus 4 on both sides. The 4's underneath cancel out. So we're left over with B squared. 36 minus the 4, which is 32. Opposite of the square, which is square root. So B is equal to square root of 32. Again, we can see we can't simplify this root 32 any further, so we leave it like that. So our length here is root 32. Question 3. Work out the length of AB, so this length here. We label our triangle, longest length, and we can always determine it by trying to go as far away from the right angle as possible. So this is our C, lowercase. We have A and B, we get to choose. I'm going to choose this as A, I'm going to choose this as B. So A squared, back into our formula. So 3 for A squared, plus B squared, which is 5, and it's equal to C squared. Simplify this underneath. We're going to get 3 squared 9, 5 squared 25, and it's equal to C squared. 9 plus the 25, 34, equals to C squared. Opposite of the squared, square root. So we have square root 34 equals to C. So our length over here is square root 34. Final question. Find the length of B to C. This length here, one of our shorter sides. We just label our triangle. We're going to call our longest length, which we see is here, as lowercase c. And A and B, I'm going to choose this time A here and B here. Put it into our formula, A squared plus B squared equals C squared. A, which is 5, so 5 squared, plus B squared, which I don't know, so I'm going to leave it like that. And I have C squared, C being 10, I substitute that in. Simplify underneath, 5 squared 25. B squared I don't know yet. And I have 10 squared, which is 100. I'm going to rearrange to get B by itself. And I'm going to start by doing the opposite of a plus 25, which is minus 25 on both sides. The 25s cancel out, so I'm left over with B squared equals 100 minus 25, which is 75. And opposite of squared, which is square root, so B is equal to square root 75, which makes capital B to capital C as our length being square root 75. And that's it. Now, I do hope you have found this useful. And if you did, be sure to like and subscribe. And thank you for watching.